Hello, this is Rachel Woods. I'm Daniel Wittenberg, and our faculty advisor is Dr. Tao Griffith.
We have collaborated on this project to illuminate the experiences of both gay and heterosexual fathers, while also trying to identify more specific barriers that gay men faced in becoming parents. We used two primary databases, CINAHL and PubMed. We screened over 300 articles, identifying ones that were pertinent to our purpose, that had also been peer reviewed and published within the last 10 years.
Our research yielded three major thematic categories that describe the experience of fathers. In the first category, we saw how both heterosexual and gay men contended with various external stressors on their journey to and during their time as parents. Dominant social norms appear foundational to most of these stressors. They manifested as both traditional gender paradigms and as prejudices based on sexual orientation. These social norms and prejudices were seen to influence both organizational operations in healthcare and family planning agencies, as well as the individual biases of healthcare providers.
The next major thematic category that emerged described the internal experiences of fathers, both how their sense of self efficacy and their motivation were affected by external stressors, and how this potentially influenced their own perceived competency as caregivers. When given the opportunity, we found that heterosexual fathers showed motivation to take an equal part in providing basic care for their children. However, due to stressors like maternal gatekeeping, many fathers felt excluded as a co parent in the NICU. Additionally, gay men face difficult realities when navigating an indirect route to parenthood, with many studies suggesting that the adoption process was more stringent. Despite this barrier, gay fathers not only rated themselves as highly competent, but they also showed significantly positive interactions with their children. Numerous studies discounted the idea that past stressors would have a negative impact on the relationship between gay fathers and their children.
Acceptance of their new role as parents was the third thematic category that emerged. It was important to us to highlight research into known interventions that target new fathers in clinical settings. While it is a relatively new and small field, early research into adjusting both NICU educational programming and design to be equally inclusive of the known needs of fathers has successfully increased more equitable involvement for the men in heterosexual parenting couples. Similarly, the self efficacy of heterosexual fathers was enhanced by increasing their personal stake in parenting tasks.
In terms of limitations, random sampling was rarely used. Samples in most of these articles were purposive and used snowballing techniques to recruit participants. Articles studying gay men did not generally include ethnically or culturally diverse samples. Many of the men in these studies also had high socioeconomic status because adoption and surrogacy are very expensive processes. Therefore, these samples were not generalizable to the gay male population at large. Two interventions emerged as the most beneficial for fathers: improved communication and active participation. Fathers recognized that they often felt out of the loop and expressed they would like to maintain communication with healthcare providers. Additionally, as men got progressively more involved in their children's care, they felt like an equal member of the caregiving team.
For gay men, however, we did not identify any studies that included evidence based practice interventions. It would be very beneficial for future research to focus on targeted interventions for gay fathers and determine not only what their needs are, but how these needs are met. Education for healthcare providers is another necessary step in order to eliminate stigma and support increased involvement of fathers in their child's care.
Thank you so much for listening to our presentation, and we will now field any questions.